Welcome to Links 007 TV News Report, providing you with the best in local and international news updates. This is a place where you can get the most reliable and informative news information. Links 007 TV News Report. Welcome and thanks for joining us. This is the nightly news on Links 007 TV for Sunday, September 24th, 2023. We begin the news with a developing story. 8-year-old girl found dead with bag over her face. The Portland police are awaiting the results of a post-mortem examination to ascertain the cause of death of an 8-year-old girl whose body was reportedly found with a plastic bag over her head at her home in the parish on Friday. The deceased has been identified as Venice Burke of West Baptist Avenue in the parish. Reports are that the child left school on Friday afternoon and went home, where she was in the care and supervision of a close family member. Indications are that at a point the child became noticeably absent and the relative went to locate her and found her lying unresponsive in a pool of urine on the floor in a section of the house. She was reportedly seen with a plastic bag over her face. The child was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Little Venice is the second 8-year-old child to have died in extremely questionable circumstances since Friday. Talia Thompson, an 8-year-old grade 4 student of the Discovery Bay Primary and Infant School in St. Anne, was raped and brutally murdered reportedly by a male neighbor in Discovery Bay on Saturday. There are conflicting reports on whether the deceased child's surname is Thomas or Thompson. The police said that Thomas was her surname, but Talia, who was an entrant in the August staging of the Mini Miss St. Anne pageant, was entered with the surname Thompson. In this incident, it is reported that at about 3:15 p.m., little Talia was left at a neighbor's house and a man described as a family friend went to the house and took the child to his house. He allegedly raped the child and then inflicted several stab wounds to the upper body of the child. The suspect, who is said to be a sanitation worker, then attempted to take his own life by using a 9mm live round of ammunition in a pliers which he then heated. The bullet exploded, which caused an abrasion to his forehead. After failing in his efforts to mortally injure himself, neighbors later found the man stabbing himself with a knife. Later, Talia was seen lying on a bed in a pool of blood. The police were alerted and both wounded persons were taken to the hospital, where Talia was pronounced dead and the male suspect was admitted for treatment under police guard. His medical condition is said to be stable. The police are expected to question the man in the coming days as their probe continues into the grisly development. Continuing the news, the government of Jamaica ramping up skills training to produce higher paying jobs. Finance and Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says the government remains committed to ramping up skills training locally to build on the country's record low employment rate of 4.5%. In boosting skills training, Clark said that the government is also ensuring that more Jamaicans can access jobs of the future, which pay higher than those that exist today. The minister made the overall pronouncement during Wednesday's hearing of the radio program Good Morning Minister, which is hosted by the Minister without Portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, which is responsible for information, Robert Morgan. As part of the government's renewed focus on skills training, Clark reminded that institution fees for courses up to level 4 at the Heart Trust have now been removed to enable more Jamaicans to get trained, certified, and employable. Dr. Nigel Clark argued that the future of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, machine training, computer programming, and digital animation, says the government has provided over 1,000 science, technology, engineering, and math STEM scholarships for students to pursue studies in these areas at the University of Technology, UTech. The minister said that there is a shortage of skilled workers such as plumbers, masons, and carpenters. The country's unemployment rate fell to a record low of 4.5% in April 2023, according to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin Labor Force Survey. There is a 1.5% point lower than the overall turnaround for the corresponding period in 2022. Clark shared that more than 150,000 Jamaicans have jobs today who were without employment in 2016. Furthermore, the minister said that more than 1.3 million Jamaicans are now working, which he claimed has never been crossed before in the country's history. Continuing the news. Some Stocks and Securities Limited client begin getting their investment back. The said investment company that Usain Bolt lost over $1 billion Jamaican dollars in. The transfer of Jamaican dollar societies held by investment firm Stocks and Societies Limited to other investment houses designated by the SLL client has begun. Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Marlene Street Forest, says that she anticipates that the transfer to the first batch of 80 accounts will be finished by Monday. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced on Wednesday that transfers would begin shortly.
Let me just say that we are happy that the process has started, and we are encouraging account holders of SSL to send in their request to the company, that's SSL, so that the transfers can be made. It's been a long process, but now we are happy that, it has started, yes, because the team is working on it. Just the batch verification, ensuring accuracy, and then a transfer will be done. We pledge to have actually a special team work on this because we understand the urgency of the situation. So now that we have gotten approval, which we were waiting on, we'll do our part. We have received documents from the SSL, the temporary manager, in respect to those accounts that will be transferred. We are now processing that upload, and this will be done by Monday. The team is working assiduously to ensure that the upload goes smoothly, and thereafter other batches will be sent to us for processing.
Accounts belonging to clients of the Doom investment firm have been frozen since the discovery of a multi-million-dollar fraud at the entity. The action has barred the owners of 8,000 accounts from accessing approximately $30 billion in stocks and bonds. It's understood that the transfer of cash balances has also begun. Mrs. Street Forest says that a special team has been established to expedite the transfers. The discovery was made just a few months ago that a massive fraud has been taking place at the SSL. Continuing the news. U.S. visitor killed, man injured during burial at St. Catherine Cemetery. A visitor from the United States was shot dead and another man injured while at a burial at Medeiros Memorial Gardens in Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Saturday afternoon. The dead woman has been identified as 57-year-old Sharonette Hammond from Brooklyn, New York. The injured man, who is said to be 23 years old, has been released from hospital. Information reaching Links 007 TV News indicate that at around 3 p.m., both persons were among patrons leaving a burial when they were pounced upon by gunmen. The police said that the gunman opened fire at their vehicle before escaping. Hammond was shot in the head and upper body, while the man sustained injuries to his right hand. They were rushed to hospital where Hammond succumbed to her injuries and the man treated and released. No motive has since been established for the attack. The police are investigating. Continuing the news. Boy implicated in second break-in within 9 days. A St. Elizabeth teenager who was initially on bail relative to house break-in charges but then reportedly broke into another house in the parish 9 days later has been remanded to the Metcalfe Street Secure Juvenile Remand Center until October the 4th. The action was taken after authorities point out to the judge in St. Elizabeth Parish Court on Wednesday that the 15-year-old boy was in need of care and protection. The identity of the teen cannot be disclosed as he is a juvenile. According to the allegations that were outlined in court, the teenager was first arrested after he reportedly broke into a house in Junction, St. Elizabeth on September the 2nd. During the incident, he reportedly stole several items which were not, however, disclosed in court. Following a report being made to the police by the complainant, the teen was arrested and charged with housebreaking and larceny. He was subsequently offered station bail. However, the teen was rearrested after he was fingered as a suspect in another housebreaking incident, which reportedly occurred on September 11th. He was later charged after the St. Elizabeth police completed their probe of the second incident. In consideration the allegation and observation made relative to the welfare of the teen, the parish judge made the order for the teen to be remanded to the Metcalfe Street Secure Juvenile Remand Center in Kingston. The teen is to be taken by authorities to the St. Elizabeth Children's Court on October the 4th, when the cases against him will be mentioned again. Portland man stabbed to death during fight at bar. A 36-year-old man was stabbed to death during a dispute at a bar in Lower William Street, Port Antonio, Portland on Friday night. He has been identified as Warren Hill, a vector control agent. Reports are that sometime around 9:40 p.m., Hill was at a bar when an argument developed between himself and another man from St. Margaret's Bay. It is alleged that Hill pulled a machete while the higgler drew a knife which was used to stab Hill in the chest. Hill fell to the ground and the suspect used the machete to chop him in his face. He was taken to the Port Antonio hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The suspect has since been taken into custody. This has been Links 007 TV Sunday Night News. Thanks for watching.